pregame.com.
This is just the second time in college football history we've got two teams facing each other for a third straight year. This is Brad Powers in the pregame.com studios just off the Vegas Strip, and it's the rubber match. We're talking college football playoff semifinals. We got Clemson taking on Alabama.
We can only hope that this third matchup is half as good as those first two. Who do you like?
I like the team that covered each of those first two meetings, the Clemson Tigers. That's right. Clemson plus the points is the pick, and to me, the number one factor, Dabo Swinney, not Nick Saban, is actually, in my opinion, the best coach in college football right now, particularly in the postseason. Here's what Swinney's done here the last 5 years. 7-0 against the spread, 6-1 straight up, all in the underdog role. And it's not like he was playing Little Sisters of the Poor. In fact, he's played a national title winning coach in all 7 of those games. 2 games against Bob Stoops, 1 game against Les Miles, 2 games against the 2 best coaches in college football. At least that's what the market says. He beats Urban Meyer twice, blows him out in 1 game, and he covers against big bad Nick Saban in each of the last 2 years in the national title game. Swinney's the best coach in college football, and that's why the Tigers plus the full 3 points here is my pick.
Nick Saban is a great coach, and part of that reason is he's had a great coaching staff, but he's had a lot of defections from that coaching staff, correct?
Yeah, not only has Nick Saban already had like a huge advantage over the opposing coaches, but what's really made him good is that support staff, which he's lost a significant number. We're talking 2 years ago, Kirby Smart. Boy, Kirby Smart looks pretty good. He's got Georgia in the playoffs in his second year. He also loses, in my opinion, the best play caller in college football, Lane Kiffin. Lane Kiffin looked pretty good at Florida Atlantic this year. Then you just look at some of the assistant, like coaching position, like a line coach in Mario Cristobal, offensive line. He's the head coach of Oregon. Heck, Steve Sarkisian, who's our quality offensive control analyst for most of last year. He's the offensive coordinator for the Atlanta Falcons right now. And most importantly for this matchup, I think there might be some distractions. Their defense coordinator, Jeremy Pruitt, took the Tennessee head coaching gig. He's splitting time here. Not a full 100% full effort as far as the game plan for this game.
Let's talk power ratings. After Alabama suffered their first loss against Auburn and Clemson crushed Miami of Florida, I came out and said, Clemson is my #1 team in the country. I tell you, I drove home and my phone lit up like a Christmas tree when that podcast came out. Everyone, all the sharps that I know that follow college football said, Fez, you are overreacting to recency. Alabama's the best team. Do you agree?
I agree. They're the best team in the country. And I thought the opening line with Alabama favored by 1.5 points was exactly what my power ratings had it. Alabama should be favored in this game. But should Alabama be a full field goal favorite here? Even when you factor in, hey, give them a 0.5 point or maybe even a full point as far as having revenge for Clemson beating them last year, I still can't get to a full 3-point advantage here.
I can get there. and here's why. Just end of October, November, Alabama was pick 'em against the field, and we both spoke about how we felt that was accurate, that they had about a 50% chance to win it all. Well, now they're only minus 145 in 1 game, and why are they only that? Because of 2 bad games. At Mississippi State, where they could have lost, and then the loss at Auburn. Well, they had cluster injuries at linebacker, and now they've had a month and a half to get healthy. I think we're going to see much more of the Alabama team we saw earlier in the year with a couple of those linebackers back.
Yeah, they do have 2 of the 4 guys back, but the best guy and the downfall started when Sean Dion Hamilton went out in early November, not when they lost a couple guys in the first game of the season. And, you know, yeah, Alabama looked so dominant early, but was it just mainly the cluster injuries, or they started finally playing some teams and some top 25 competition in November? You're right, they almost lost outright as a significant favorite against Mississippi State. Heck, they're laying 3 touchdowns at home against LSU, get outgained, and they lose by double digits on the road against Auburn. Cluster injuries or not, Alabama didn't look that good for most of November.
Your second key handicap?
Second key handicap for me is, let's talk about Alabama. They definitely have the more talented roster here. But in my opinion, the most talented unit on the field is the Clemson defensive line, the best unit in all of college football, and particularly for this game, matchup advantage for them here, because if they can make Alabama one-dimensional and put the pressure on Jalen Hurts like they did in last year's game, advantage the Tigers. Jalen Hurts last year had a decent game, but he's 13 out of 31 throwing the football, and Alabama could not convert a first down last year. If that's the case again this year, you're going to have a repeat. Clemson covering for 3 straight years.
Now, wait a minute. Now, Alabama the last 2 years scored plenty of points against Clemson. Why did they almost lose both those games? Because of Deshaun Watson, who was lighting up the scoreboard for the Houston Texans until he got hurt this year. I mean, he is incredible. And now they go with Kelly Bryant. Well, when Kelly Bryant went down against Syracuse, this vaunted Clemson defense wasn't even able to win at Syracuse. I got to ask you, if you can't beat Syracuse without Kelly Bryant, how are you going to beat Alabama without Deshaun Watson?
That's a great point, and a major reason why this is not a best bet, but it's a free pick video. That's my biggest concern in the game. And everyone talks about Watson's mobility. It was Watson throwing the football that Alabama couldn't defend in the last 2 years. He threw for more than 400 yards in each game. And I got to be honest with you, Fez, Kelly Bryant, not really capable. At least I haven't seen it so far. He's only got 13 touchdown passes this year, but I still think he's a good quarterback. And you want to say value to the team, just as much value to this year's team, because the only game where he's less than 100% and banged up, they lose to Syracuse. They look pretty good in their remaining 12 games this year.
I like it when you're honest with me. Let's make it official.
Let's make it official here. Honestly, guys, I'm taking Clemson plus the 3. And honestly, Dabo Swinney, not Nick Saban, in my opinion, is the best coach in all of college football, particularly in the postseason. Last 5 years, he's covered all 7 games, won 6 of them straight up, all in the underdog role. And he's faced Nick Saban twice, Urban Meyer twice, Bob Stoops twice. That's very impressive. And also impressive, in my opinion, the best unit on the entire field in this one, the Clemson defensive line. And if they can make Alabama one-dimensional and make Alabama try to beat them over the top, I don't think and can't trust Jalen Hurts to do so. That's why I like the Tigers plus the 3 to make it 3 straight covers over Alabama. More videos at pregame.com.